Daf Yomi, Tractate, Sanhedrin, page 17a, part 2, somewhere in the middle of the page, with Reb Nachman Amar al Iske Gog Umagog, Hayu Mitnabim. We're talking about Eldad and Medad, what they were prophesying. So Reb Nachman says that they were prophesying about the matter of Gog and Magog. שנאמר כה אמר השם אלוקים האתה הוא אשר דיברתי בימים קדמונים ביד עבדי הנביאי ישראל הנביאים בימים ההם שנים להביא אותך עליהם אל תקרא שנים אלא שניים אלו הם שניים נביאים שננבאו בפרק אחד נבואה אחת ואומר אלדד ומדד. Rav Nachman says that they're prophesying about the matter of Gog and Magog. As it is stated with regard to Gog and Magog, so says the Lord God, are you the one of whom I spoke in ancient days through my servants, the prophets of Israel, who prophesied in those days for many years that I would bring you against them? Ezekiel 38:17. Do not read it as years, shanim, rather as shnaim, two, shnaim. And who are the two prophets who prophesied the same prophecy at the same time? He must say, Eldad and Medad. Amar Mar Kol Hanaviim Kulan Nitnabu Upasku. Ve'hen nitnabu v'lo pasku. Mina lan depasku. Ilem v'diksiv v'nitnabu lo v'yasafu. Elamiata. Kol gadol v'lo yasaf hachinami dilo asifu elga pasakhu. The master says, the brightest said, all of the prophets prophesied and then stopped, but Eldad and Medad prophesied and did not stop. The Gemara asks, from where do we derive that all the other prophets stopped prophesying? If we say it is from that which is written about them, and they prophesied, but they did so no more. Numbers 11:25. That is difficult. But if that is so, then concerning that which is stated in relation to the giving of the Torah, these words, the Lord spoke to all your assembly with a great voice, and it went on no more. V'lo yasaf, Deuteronomy 5:19. So too shall it be understood that the great voice did not continue. Rather, the intention there is that it did not stop, interpreting the word yasufu as related to sof, meaning end. Consequently, with regard to the 70 elders as well, the word can be interpreted to mean that they did not stop prophesying. Elam hachad kesiv vayitnabu hatam ketiv mitnabim adayin mitnabim beholchim. Rather, the proof is as follows. It is written here with regard to the 70 elders, they prophesied, Numbers 11:25, and it is written there, Eldad and Medad were prophesying in the camp, Numbers 11:27, from which it can be derived they were continuously prophesying. Bishlom l'mad Amar Moshe meis hainu diksiv Adoni Moshe klaim l'mad Amar Hanach Tardi my Adoni Moshe klaim delav orach ara dehavilei ketalmid amora halach b'nei rabo. With regard to the content of Eldad and Medad's prophecy, the Gemara asks, granted according to the one who says their prophecy was that Moses will die, this is the reason for that which is written there. And Joshua, son of Nun, the servant of Moses from his youth, answered and said, my master Moses imprisoned them, Numbers 11:28, as their prophecy appeared to be a rebellion against Moses. But according to the one who says those other two opinions with regard to the content of the prophecy, according to which their prophecy had no connection to Moses, what is the reason that Joshua said, my master Moses imprisoned them? The Gemara answers, he said this because it is not proper conduct for them to prophesy publicly in close proximity to Moses, as by doing so they are like a student who teaches a halacha in his teacher's presence, which is inappropriate. The Gemara asks, granted, according to the one who says, those other two opinions, this is the reason for that which is written. And Moses said to him, are you jealous for my sake? Would that all of the Lord's people were prophets. Numbers 11:29. But according to the one who says that El and prophesied that Moses will die and Joshua will bring Israel into the land, would it have been satisfactory to Moses that all the people of God would utter similar prophecies? The Gemara answers they did not conclude it before him. Moses was not aware of what they had said, but only that they were prophesying. I mean, if Moses was total, complete bittul, he wouldn't mind, I don't think. Michael aim amarlei hatel alehen tzarchit tzibur vehein kalin melehen. The Gemara asks, what is the meaning of imprison them, klaim? The Gemara answers, Joshua said to him, place responsibility for the needs of the public upon them, so that they will be occupied like the other elders of Israel, and they will cease prophesying on their own. Due to the burden of public responsibility, they would not be able to be prophets. Minayin lavi od shlosha. The Mishnah derives the halacha that there are 23 judges on a lesser Sanhedrin from the verses, and the congregation shall judge, and the congregation shall save. Numbers 35, 24, 25. The Mishnah understands that the term congregation is referring to 10 judges, so that the two congregations, one in each verse, totaled 20 judges. The Mishnah then asks, from where is it derived to bring 3 more judges to the court? The Mishnah answers, the implication of the verse, you shall not follow a multitude to convict. Exodus 23:2. Is that your inclination after a majority to exonerate is not like your inclination after a majority to convict, and a conviction must be by a majority of 2. Sof sof lira al pishnaim lo mishkachat la. I achad asar mazkin v'shnayim asar mechayvin. Akad ichad hu. I asar mezakin shlosha asar mechayvin tlat zahavu. Amar Yehoshua yatamotze ela b'mosifin v'divrei kol v'sanhedrin gedola v'aliyud Rabbi Yehuda de'amar shiv'im. The Gemara objects. Ultimately, you do not find an occurrence of the inclination for evil according to a majority of 2 judges. If 11 judges vote to acquit the defendant and 12 vote to convict, this is still only a majority of 1. And if 10 vote to acquit and 13 vote to convict, they are a majority of 3. With a court of 23 judges, there is no possible way to convict with a majority of 2. Rabbi Bahu says you do not find such a scenario except in a case where they add 2 additional judges because one of the judges abstained from the deliberation, the other judges are split in their decisions, and the 2 added judges both vote to convict. And this is a possibility according to all Tanaim. And in a case tried by the Great Sanhedrin, according to the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, who says there are 70 judges on the Great Sanhedrin with an even number, it is possible to have a majority of 2. Mahu d'tema the kamar en Yudea, kemad di isa dami, the amar milse shaminan le ka mashmalan, the high the kamar en Yudea, kemad lese dami, the amar tama lo shmanin le. And Rabbi Bahu says when they add additional judges, they create a court consisting of an even number of judges ab initio. The Gemara asks, isn't that obvious? What is the novelty in Rabbi Bahu's statement? The Gemara answers, lest you say, this judge who says, I do not know, is viewed as one who is still there. And if he says something afterwards, we listen to him and include him in that count, so there are actually an odd number of judges on the court. Therefore, Rabbi Abahu teaches us that this judge who says, I do not know, is viewed as one who is not still there. And if he says a reason to rule in a certain manner afterward, we do not listen to him. Consequently, the court consists of an even number of judges. Amar Rav Kahana, Sanhedrin Sheroi Kun Chayva, Poitren Soy Maitama, given the Gemini Halanat Din Lamavid Lezchuta, Hanitu Lo Chazu Le. Rav Kahana says, in a Sanhedrin where all the judges saw it fit to convict the defendant in a case of capital law, they acquit him. The Gemara asks, what is the reasoning for this halacha? It is since it is learned as a tradition that suspension of the trial overnight is necessary in order to create a possibility of acquittal. The halacha is that they may not issue the guilty verdict on the same day the evidence was heard, as perhaps over the course of the night one of the judges will think of a reason to acquit the defendant, and as those judges all saw fit to convict him, they will not see any further possibility to acquit him, because there will not be anyone arguing for such a verdict. Consequently, he cannot be convicted. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Ein Moshi Sanhedrin elam ba'alei koma, ba'alei chachma, ba'alei mare, ba'alei zikna, u'ba'alei keshafim, v'yodim yeshivim lashon. V'shilotehei Sanhedrin shamat mipi hameturgaman. Rabbi Yochanan says they place on the great Sanhedrin only men of high stature, and of wisdom, and of pleasant appearance, and of suitable age, so that they will be respected, and they must also be masters of sorcery, meaning know the nature of sorcery, not that they practice it, but they know the nature of sorcery, so that they can judge sorcerers, and they must know all 70 languages, in order that the Sanhedrin will not need to hear testimony from the mouth of a translator in a case where a witness speaks a different language. Amar Rav Yehuda Marav, Ein Moshim v'Sanhedrin, Ela Mishu De'elataher Es Hasheretz Min HaTorah. Amar Rav, Ani Adun Va'atarena. Rav Yehuda says that Rav says, they place on the Sanhedrin only one who knows how to render a carcass of a creeping animal pure by Torah law. The judges on the Sanhedrin must be also skilled at logical reasoning, that they could even produce a convincing argument that creeping animals, which the Torah states explicitly are ritually impure, are actually pure. Rav said, I will discuss the halacha of the creeping animal and render it pure, meaning I am able to demonstrate how it is possible to construct such a proof. Interesting.